Now we're going to look at how to go about changing the color of something in your images. And Photoshop has a lot of different ways that you can go about doing this. You can use blend modes, selections, adjustment layers, etc. And the first one we're going to look at is a Hue Saturation Adjustment Layer color changing option. One of the first things that you're going to want to do when you're ready to change color on part of an image is you're going to want to make a selection. And so I've already gone in and made a rough selection of this van here. And you're going to want to do the same thing because this is going to be 8F for you. So right now what you'll probably want to do is go select your quick selection tool or your magic wand tool or whatever your tool of choice is and select the van. Now you are not going to want to select the tires, and you're also going to want to deselect the windows. So you're going to not have the windows or the tires selected. Go ahead and pause the video now and make your van selection. Alright, so when you have a selection that you are satisfied with, it needs to be accurate, so you need to be sure that you go in and you take care of having nice clean lines around the windows. You're not going to include the windows, you're not going to include the tires, you're not going to include the white part on the top of the van. You're just selecting the blue part of the van. So no bumpers, no tires, no headlights, just the blue part. When you have your selection, what you're going to do is you're going to go and you're going to add a hue saturation layer. And so I'm going to go up and I'm going to select Hue Saturation Adjustment Layer. And you'll see that because I had my selection made before I clicked on it, it created a mask for me when I created the layer. And now I can select my hue slider and go through and change the color of the van very easily. And look, down here you can see where I missed a couple of spots. And that's no problem. All I have to do is go into my Hue Saturation Mask, zoom in, and come down with my paintbrush. So select B, switch to white. And so since this is part of the fender down here, this lower part, I don't want to change that color. So what I need to do is paint it black. So I'm going to go through right here, remove that. You can see along the edges here where I need to clean up some of my edges that are still showing blue. I need to remove some areas and add to others. And so you do a rough layer mask, and then you come back in using your brush and paint in your edits. And so as you're going around your edges, you're going to want to zoom in as close as you can, because some of these you can't see if you're not close in. And so by zooming in where I can see my individual pixels, it enables me to do a better job masking. So I can come in and get these little areas that might have been missed when I was zoomed out and making my selection. Alright, so when you've finished this, you're going to save it as 8F, your last name, underscore van.psd. Make sure it is in your Chapter 8 folder. Make sure your edges are nice and clean. You're going to need to change this to a bright color that is not blue so that it will be easy to determine the accuracy of your selection and masking. Make sure to do a stellar job of both or you will lose major points. You'll want to be sure you go around the windows, bumpers, and edges. Alright, and so that's what it should look like. Your color can be that of your choice. Again, it cannot be blue or cyan or anything that resembles the original color of the van. It must be a bright color that contrasts with the original blue. So once you've saved that, once again, 8F last name underscore van, go ahead and close that out. Alright, so next we're going to look at how to go about changing a specific range of colors. Close this, and now we're going to open our next image. So we'll go File, Browse and Bridge, and I'm going to select the Scooter JPEG image again. Now if you want to change a specific range of colors, Command, and so with my duplicate layer selected, I'm going to create a Hue Saturation layer. Go ahead and I'm going to select my On Image Adjustment tool, and I'm going to come click on the motor scooter, and you'll see this little gray part of the color bar is selected. That's saying that's the color range that's going to be adjusted. And so now all I have to do to adjust the scooter color is come in and move my hue slider. Now, one thing that you'll notice is it's applying this color adjustment to all these other areas as well. Again, if I do not want those areas to be adjusted, then all I need to do is go in, mask out the areas I don't want. Make sure my brush is set to black, and I can go in and adjust the rest of the image, because this image actually had a lot of that cyan overcast color happening. The gentleman's coat back here, sidewalk, the building, everywhere. Close the properties panel for just a second while I do this. Come in nice and small. And so you can see where masking is a pretty common thing. No matter what you're trying to do in Photoshop, you're going to need to perfect your selection and masking skills. So that's showing my mask. I turn my quick mask on. And what it's doing with the quick mask is it's showing the areas that are masked out. So you can go in, make sure that you've got a nice clean selection. If you need to adjust because there's color casting happening in other areas, okay? Ideally, your image doesn't require a mask because it is the only thing with that color that is occurring within that image. But in the instance that you do have to go, this can make it a lot easier. One last quick pass. And these are, of course, the rough mask. I would need to zoom in and now go over each of the edges to make sure I've got a nice clean mask on my image. Alright, I'm going to zoom out. By the way, the quick mask on and off shortcut is right above the enter or return key on the right hand side of your keyboard. It is right next to the right bracket key, and it's the backward slash, and that makes it really easy to see. And so now, if I am in my hue saturation, I can make my adjustment, and we can see that it's no longer affecting the entire image. Alright, so we're going to select the door JPEG, and this is going to be your 8G. So go ahead and follow the directions on pages 352, 353, and 354, and you're going to change the green door and window frame to red. So quickly, you're going to duplicate your background layer, then create a Hue Saturation Adjustment layer, select the On Image Adjustment tool, select the green color. You can use the add and remove color eyedroppers here. I'm going to go down here and pick this dark color here and up here as well. Now I want to be careful because when I selected this area up here, it slid the color all the way over here to the left on this gray area in between my rainbow bars that's showing the colors that are selected. I'm going to want to slide that back to the left because otherwise all these rocks and everything down here are going to change color. When I've done all of that, then I can slide my slider to the left here and make my door and window frame change color. When I'm through with that, I am going to save this as 8G, my last name, _ door PSD. Make sure it's in your Chapter 8 folder and click Save.